As we've seen in a number of different sports and industries, sometimes there are cases where a person or a team just comes out of nowhere and gets some sort of major win or success. After though, we never see them replicate that same success ever again. Well, in this video, I thought it'd be interesting to look at those type of cases that we have in golf. And just as a heads up, I'm specifically talking about those players who won. So not those who came out of nowhere to finish second, I have a video for that by the way, or those who are known for a single crazy shot. Anyways, greetings again y'all, it's your Anak Peter Mata, and without further ado, today we're going to go over the top 5 biggest one-hit wonders. Number 5. Paul Lawrie. The big win that the recently retired Paul Lawrie is known for is the 1999 Open Championship at Carnoustie, or better known that week as Carnasty. The thing about his win there though is that we obviously know it more for John Van de Velde's colossal triple bogey choke on the 72nd hole, and that's really a big part of Paul's place on this list. Now one man's choke is another man's comeback and vice versa, so we do have to give Paul credit for his final round 67 and his playoff performance that helped him come back from a 10-shot deficit. However, if we look at Paul's career as a whole from before and after that victory, it hasn't been up to the same standards. Overall, Paul only had one other top 10 in a major in his career, and he had no other PGA Tour victories. In general, he really didn't use much of his PGA Tour exemptions from his major win, as he competed on the European Tour for most of his career. Now, we do have to pay respects to his career on the European Tour, as he picked up a total of 8 wins on that tour, and with his play, he earned spots on a couple Ryder Cup teams. So, he was not a complete slouch, but still, if Van de Velde didn't have such a historic collapse, would have Paul Lawrie ever become a major champ? In my opinion, most likely not. And as a result, if you compared his talent and resume to others in this category, you would probably place him on this list too. Number 4. Todd Hamilton. Spending over a decade overseas as he tried to earn a PGA Tour card, Todd Hamilton appeared to be just another journeyman. Well, in 2003, after failing 8 times at Q School, Todd finally got that elusive card and made quick work with it in 2004. That year, Todd beat out Davis Love III at the Honda Classic, and then set his sights on something even bigger. At the Open Championship, Todd took on a prime Ernie Els. The two played together in the final round and also in the 4-hole aggregate playoff to decide the champion. As the big underdog, Todd was able to up and down on the final playoff hole with his famous hybrid putt just short of the green. And with his tap and par, he became one of the most unexpected champion golfers of the year. While unexpected, we do have to give Todd credit for his time grinding on the Japan Tour. Just like Brian Watts, who almost won the 1998 Open, Todd cut his teeth on that tour. In total, Todd has double-digit victories overseas. But again, he was a very surprising major winner, and especially going against a great like the Big Easy. And if we look at his results after, it shows why he's one of the biggest one-hit wonders in my opinion. After that 2004 Open, Todd's next highest finish in a major was tied 15th, and he has yet to win on any tour since then. And frankly, he hasn't even come close to winning, as he's only registered 3 other top 10s and has resorted back to his typical journeyman play since his major triumph. So while Todd has really had a dream career for a journeyman, there's no denying to me that he's a perfect candidate for this list. Number 3. Rich Beem.
Good swing of the putter. Look at this putt. Look at this putt. Look at this putt. The Beamer! Oh my
goodness! As you just saw in that highlight, the Beamer's biggest win was the 2002 PGA Championship. He won that major by 1 shot and outlasted a charging Tiger Woods who made 4 straight birdies to finish. Rich's victory that day was highlighted by a great eagle on 12, that bomb you just saw on 16, and his closing tap-in shimmy. The Beamer has always been a fan favorite because of his fun-loving personality and his passion for the game, but to say before that PGA victory that anyone would predict him to become a major champion is a bit of a stretch. Now don't get me wrong, Rich has game, and he proved that with his 2 PGA Tour victories prior to that PGA. He had won the 1999 Kemper Open in his rookie year, and he had won the 2002 International, where he and Steve Lowry, who on a side note was my pro at the first Tee Open, dueled it out against each other in a crazy finish. If y'all haven't seen that finish yet, I recommend checking it out. It's truly wild. So again, Rich knew how to get it done on tour, and he was always known as a streaky player who at times could become a birdie machine. But still, it doesn't discount the fact that he's a one-hit wonder. Looking at his major results before and after the PGA, just like Todd Hamilton, he hasn't come anywhere close to even contending in another major, as his next highest finish has been a tied 15th. And he is also yet to register another victory after that PGA win. Now honestly for me, Rich and Todd are pretty interchangeable here, but my logic in terms of putting the Beamer higher than Todd on this list is the fact that Todd has had a highly successful career overseas with wins to prove it. So while Rich was probably more consistent on the PGA Tour than Todd, I personally put winning professionally at that clip over it. Number 2, Shaun Micheel. Shaun is really the only player on this list that fits that one-hit wonder moniker, because looking back on his career, it's literally centered around one shot. That shot I'm talking about is his legendary 7-iron on the 72nd hole of the 2003 PGA Championship. Knocking it to kicking range, Shaun was able to outduel Chad Campbell and close out the tournament for his biggest career victory. There's not much to be said about Shaun Micheel outside that PGA, because his career has been very mediocre outside of it. He does have a second place finish in the 2006 PGA, but in that event, Shaun wasn't a serious factor to win, as Tiger had won it in convincing fashion. In terms of wins, Shaun has 1 win on the Asian Tour in '98 and 1 win on the now Korn Ferry Tour in '99. And to this point, his PGA victory has been his only PGA Tour win and his last win on any tour. He's been decently consistent and has had a few moments from time to time where he pops his name up there, but his career has been rather pedestrian outside that PGA, and certainly a far cry from what we typically see from a major champion, which is why it makes him another perfect candidate for this list. Before we go to number 1, let's give a shout out to those who are left on the cutting room floor. Number 1, Craig Perks. Technically, in Craig's case, he's a 3-hit wonder, and what I mean by that is his famous finish at the 2002 Players Championship. Coming into that tournament as a 203rd ranked player in the world and with no professional wins to his name yet, Craig found himself 1 shot down heading into the par 5 16th. As we know, the finish at TPC Sawgrass is one of the most diabolical in the game, and what Craig was able to do there under pressure was absolute dreamlike. First, as he barely missed the water on his second shot on the 16th hole, Craig was able to recover by chipping in for eagle from the greenside rough in order to take a 1-shot lead. Then he headed to the notorious par 3 17th, where he was able to not only negotiate a solid tee shot there, but he also drained a 30-foot bomb for birdie to now take a 2-shot lead to the final hole. Scrambling on that final hole, Craig had to get it up and down to take the championship, but he didn't just settle for an up and down. He went ahead and chipped it in again, this time for par, to cap off a 2-shot victory.
To watch it on TV here and watch what Craig did, you're unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Unfortunately, after this absolutely thrilling victory, Craig's struggles have been well documented. As we know, in the time after this Players, Craig tried to improve upon his ball striking weaknesses by going through numerous swing changes. Sadly, the changes failed, he lost confidence, and just like the rest of the players on this list, he's yet to win since his major triumph. He only registered 2 more top 10s overall and missed several cuts. He ended up losing his card after all his exemptions ran out, and he promptly retired from competitive golf in 2007. As we've seen, he's become an announcer on the Golf Channel, and also I'd like to give him a shout out for returning to Louisiana, which is my home state and the place where he played college golf. There, he's been working as a teaching pro. Still, looking at his resume, he's a pure definition of an OHW, and to me, he regrettably has to fill the seat for the #1 biggest one-hit wonder. So that's my list, and it was a very tough one to compile. I'm sure there will be others that y'all feel should have been mentioned, or maybe y'all feel some of these should have been rearranged. As y'all know, I do my due diligence for research on these videos and really try to rank these players on their merits. I ain't trying to be a hater, just trying to tell some interesting golf stories. At the end of the day, all these players are amazing golfers, and each one of them have nothing to be ashamed of in terms of their career. Anywho, let me know what you guys think about this list. Who are your biggest one-hit wonders? As always, I appreciate y'all for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. Your words mean something to me.